Well, crime isn't the only issue. Democrats are trying to make a pivot. The donkey's also shifting focus from attacking Republicans on abortion to attacking them on entitlement programs. President Biden last week said a GOP-controlled House would be a threat to Social Security and Medicare. And on Saturday in Wisconsin, former President Obama went after Republican Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin on that very issue. Watch.
Senator Johnson voted to raise the retirement age to 70, supported a plan that would put Social Security and Medicare on the chopping block every single year.
Sounds like my kind of plan. Senator Johnson firing back, saying that's a bunch of malarkey. Ron?
Something is, again, I want to save Social Security. I think it's pretty rich for the former president who divides his time between Martha's Vineyard and Washington, D.C., to come in here and call somebody who lives in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and drives all over the state talking to all kinds of folks to say that I'm out of touch. So no, I'm just talking about we have to start prioritizing spending. We have to dramatically reduce deficit spending.
Wisconsin is a lovely state. Are entitlements really in jeopardy? Stephen?
This is their normal check the box of issues that we have to get out and kind of a Hail Mary at the end. They need to save this one for the presidential election, guys. Nobody believes you when it's a midterm election. That's not going to get the voters out that you need to get energized to get out, which is typically younger voters, and they don't care about Social Security because they all know it's going to be gone when they're in their 60s anyway. Yeah, that's a great point. So, Olivia, they're arguing about whether or not Republicans are going to make cuts to Social Security, a program that is facing insolvency. So, it's like they've been on this mad spending jag for years. You could argue before the pandemic, but the pandemic turbocharged it. And the entire time they didn't talk about how they were going to pay for other existing programs like Social Security and Medicare. What happens when the money runs out?
I wish Republicans were as cool as Democrats say they were, fear-mongering about them ending Social Security. I wish that was the case. I really wish they would commit to that, because I encourage all viewers to go home, go on the socialsecurity.gov website, the official website. On their official website, it says it will run out by 2037. After that point, it will be 76% funded by taxes. What's the other percent? What's that remaining percent to get you to 100% of what you paid? Well, they're either going to A, print more money, which is going to inflate the economy even more, B, raise taxes, or C, you will never see that money. So no option is good.
So what do you do at this point, Spike? I mean, if you're 20, 30 years old, you can look into privatizing your investments. But if you're close to retirement age, has the government completely hosed you?
They have, and thankfully there are plans. There are two that I know of, one called the 6.2% solution, which was developed by the Cato Institute, and another plan that I recently found out about called Plan for America. Both of these plans would allow people to be able to keep their Social Security as it exists if they wanted to, or opt into another voluntary system where they'd have their own individual investment account. I encourage people to look into those. But we need to be clear about what we're talking about. Social Security is not a retirement plan. If it was, you would have money that when you died would be passed on to your heirs and assigns. It's a Ponzi scheme. And like all Ponzi schemes, especially mandatory Ponzi schemes, it has diminishing returns year over year over year until we're at the point now where it's projected that millennials and Generation Z, not to mention future generations, are going to see a negative return on investment. And that's if they live to be the average expected age for their generation. If they die even sooner, then that means they get even less of their own money that they were forced to pay into this system back. It is a scam. If it were a privately operated system, everyone involved would be arrested for Ponzi scheming. It needs to be rolled into something that is voluntary and privately managed, and there are plans to be able to do that. The only people that will lose out are politicians who get to fearmonger every 2 or 4 years on threatening old people that they're going to take their checks away. And frankly, I'm willing to have that sacrifice if it means that people can actually move ahead with this.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And no party in power has been brave and bold enough to really tackle this issue. Every once in a while, you get someone who goes, I'm a politician. policy wonk, and I've looked at the numbers. But then, they want to hold on to power, so they legislate as though they're running every 2 years, and they don't do anything meaningful about it. So, yes, it is generational theft, and you are stealing from future generations. I hope that Chrysler LeBaron's worth it, Grandma.